This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. And let's see Ansible automation for Linux administrator and the installation of Ansible and the lab setup. First of all, let us try to understand what exactly is Ansible. Guys, Ansible is nothing but configuration management tool. Just like how we have Chef, Puppet, Salt, etc. But what exactly is this configuration management tool? For example, you have a huge environment with hundreds and thousands of machines, and you have to install a software on that hundred and thousands of machine. How much time will it take for you to go to all 100 machines or 500 machines and perform that installation manually? It is going to take days, isn't it? But thanks to the configuration management tool, from one managed server or control station, you can fire an event and it would take place on all 500 machines, and in a small period of time, maybe in just few hours or less than that, your work will be finished, right? So that is nothing but your configuration management tool. And it plays a very important role even in DevOps for continuous integration and continuous deployment of the codes. Anyway, so that is what Ansible is. It allows us to centralizedly manage and perform tasks on multiple machines. From one centralized node, you can pass the instructions, and hundreds and thousands of clients will be having that task performed. Now, maybe you have to create a user, you have to give a password, you have to install a software, you have to upgrade a software, you have to reboot the machine, or whatever task you want to perform. From one centralized machine, you can pass the instructions, and all the clients would be having the same task performed. Now, who has introduced Ansible and when it was introduced? See, guys, Ansible came after DevOps was introduced and it was under development. So there was an open source tool developed by Michael Dehan, who is the developer behind Ansible. So he used to work on that project and he made it. Later on, it was acquired by Red Hat in 2015. He started to work on this project on 2013 itself, and till 14, 15, it got boom and Red Hat acquired it. So now Ansible is a Red Hat product, which is available in an open source format that anybody can use it on any platform. As I told you, that it is a configuration management tool, and other tools which are similar to Ansible are Chef, Puppet, Salt, etc. Now, we have other configuration management tools also, like Chef or Puppet or Ansible. Why Ansible is different when compared to Chef, Puppet, and Salt? See, all these configuration management tool, whatever I am talking about, they work on Unix platform, Linux platform, or even on Windows environment. And you can also manage virtualization. You can manage cloud environments, many things you can do. But my question is still same, that why Ansible is different when compared to Chef, Puppet, etc. See, this is the reason why it is different. A typical scenario might look like this. We'll take one machine as your Ansible master server, right? Now, this is going to be our Linux-based machine. It can be any Linux. Maybe it can be your Red Hat operating system, CentOS, or uh, Ubuntu, or SUSE, whichever Linux you like. On that machine, we will install Ansible. Normally, guys, when you look out for some software, like in Linux environment, you might have seen that we went with FTP server. So FTP server, on the server side, you have installed FTP software. And on the client side, you need another software to be installed that will allow you to work with FTP. Same is the case with NFS. Server side, we need a software. Client side, you need a software. Same is the case with Samba or other applications. Normally, we have server-side software, we have software, and then it is going to work fine, isn't it? But Ansible is really different over here, that Ansible is an agent-less software. That means you don't need to install any special software on the clients. You don't need any agent of Ansible to be running. If you go with Chef, Chef has an agent you need to install on all the clients. Puppet has an agent that you need to install on all the clients. But in Ansible, only on server you need to install a software, and on the clients you don't need any special software to be installed in order to perform the task. Then how Ansible would be connecting to all the client? See, Ansible will be using your simple SSH concept. So through SSH, it would be connecting to your client, which might be running on Unix and Linux platform. And the same kind of thing might also be worked in a different way on Windows. But in here, we are concentrating only on Unix or Linux environment. So let us think that the servers are also Linux and clients are also Linux. So if you are working in this environment, then on the master side, you need to install your master software. And through SSH, it would simply communicate with all the clients. So it works on SSH to have a communication between server and all the clients. And that's the reason you don't need any special software to be installed on clients. So if you have a huge inventory of client, you don't need any special software to be installed on each and every client. And normally this is the scenario. We'll have one master and all the other machines as our client. Now we work with Ansible command line. On the server side, we'll run some commands and automatically those commands will be executed on the client side. Now to make it more simple, Ansible has also come up with a UI tool called Ansible Tower. So what is that Ansible Tower? It is a web-based UI tool. See, you can go to a web browser, you can connect to Ansible Tower, and from that tower, doing some clicks, you can perform your task. So people who does not have knowledge on Linux command line, to make it simple for them, Ansible Tower has been introduced. But Ansible Tower is not a free tool. For up to 10 hosts, it is free. More than 10 hosts if you have, then you need to purchase a license from Red Hat to use it. Anyway, as we are Linux users, we will be concentrating on Linux command line. So in our classes, in these sessions, the labs are going to be like that. I'll be taking one machine as Ansible control or master node, and I'll be taking 4 machines as a clients, right? All will be having a Red Hat or CentOS 8.3 installed, the latest version, right? Now it's up to you if you want you can go with similar setup. Or if you don't have that much of space to create machines, then you can go with one controller and at least two clients. That would be easier for manage. mhost1, mhost2. With total three machines, you can at least do this task. For me, I wanted to show you most out of it. So I'll be showing you with five machines, one as a controller and four remaining as your clients. So what we are going to do now is we are going to build our setup. So in this session, I'm going to show you how to make an Ansible setup ready. So I'll be using Oracle VirtualBox. As you know, we were working in all our previous labs and classes in Oracle VirtualBox. So what I did is I have already installed one machine as Red Hat 8 machine. As you're already aware how to install Red Hat as of now, I expect that from you. So I'm not going to show you the whole Red Hat installation one more time. You already knew it. So just create one machine as your master node. Now on that master node, let me show you what are the things I have done. See, as you know, for proper network communication, I went into host network manager and virtual host Ethernet box. I have chosen configure adapter manually, and this is the IP what I have assigned to it, 192.168.10.2. The same thing what we have done in our Linux installation class. Then on this machine, I have given some 2 to 4 GB RAM, right? And in processor setting, two processors I have given. First bootable device is optical media. Let me bring it down. I want it to boot first with hard disk. And we have, okay, let me connect the DVD also. We need DVD to make Yum repository. And in network, I have an Ethernet adapter connected as host only adapter. Okay, so this machine is ready as my first machine. Now I need to create another four machines. So I'm not going to waste my time in installing another four machines. What we can do here is in Oracle VirtualBox, right click on this master and there is an option clone. So it makes a copy of same machine. And in a very short period of time, it will make it. So I'll go with clone. What name you want to give it? So I'm going to call it mhost1, right? Fine. What type of clone you are trying to make it? Or guys, you might see a different screen if you open. Suppose you right click and you set clone. When you say clone, you may get a screen like this. So you can type what machine you want to create, what's the name. I'll say mhost1. And there is an option here, MAC address policy. Just click on this and say generate new MAC address. Guys, if you don't do that, all the machines will have same MAC ID and then MAC conflict will arise. So which I don't want. So I'm changing it. Then you can go to next and what type of clone you want to make. I'll say make a full clone. Click on clone. That's it. Now you see in a short period of time, a clone will be created. So same machine will be copied and a new machine will be created as a clone. See, a clone has been created. Same way, I'm going to create another clone. For example, I'll go on clone. To make my things faster, I'll click on expert mode. First of all, I'll give a name. The name for this machine I would like to give is mhost2. I want to go with full clone and MAC address policy. I'll change it to new MAC address, generate new MAC address and click on clone. So your second machine will be created. Same way, I'll create mhost3, mhost4, and mhost5. All right, let me right click, clone. I'll give it a name, mhost3. I want full clone, generate MAC addresses. Clone. Right click, clone, and the last clone I'm going to make mhost4, full clone, and generate new MAC ID. So you see how fast I'm able to generate 4 Linux machines which I have installed. So one time you have to do a clean installation, and after that just make clones. So 4 machines are now ready. Now let me power on these machines, and I'm going to change the IP addresses. I'm going to assign IP. I have not assigned any IP to these machines. Now one more thing I'm going to do on master. See, master, I need internet connectivity also, because Ansible, the software, I need to download from internet. So I need internet connectivity. So let me right click on master, only on master, not on any clients. I'll go to master settings. In the settings, I'll go to network. I'll take one more adapter over here, and I'll say enable network adapter, and let me change it to NAT. See, one adapter is having host only adapter for internal communication. Another adapter is having NAT for internet. So second adapter will get us internet, and first adapter will have a local communication. Now let me just power on all the machines one after the other. Okay, it's taking some time to power on. So all machines I'll be logging in, and I'll be assigning IP so that proper communication must be established. So let us see that what IP addressing I'm going to assign. See, this is the IP what I'm going to assign. I'll be using 192.168.10.5, 24 for master, 10.10 for first client, 10.20 for second client, 10.30 for third client, and 10.40 for fourth client. So let the machines be powered up. Okay, let me go to master server. This is our master node, as you can see, which is still booting. All right. Now I need to log in as root user if I want to assign the IP. So let me go to not listed, root, and the password. It might take a little time to give me the login. All right, I've logged in it. Now let me go to activities. In activities, I'll go to terminal. Now over here, see, I need to assign the host name, and I need to go with IP address. So let me change the host name. I'll say host name CTL, set host name. I'll say Ansible controller dot example.com. Usually in your examinations, they'll use a domain example.com. So I'm also using example.com. Otherwise, you can use whatever you want. Now, if you say host name, you'll find that the name is changed, right? So you see that as I took a new terminal, the name is also changed on it. Now let me go to NMTUI, the most easiest way to assign the IP. Go to editor connection. You see your first adapter is visible, ENP0S3. So let me go to edit, and over here the IP address is automatic. Click on automatic and make it manual. Then go to show and add a new IP address, that is 192.168.10.5. Oh, why dot is not getting printed up? 192.168.10.5/24. Now, if you have a gateway, DNS, anything you can assign, let me come a little below and select automatically connect, which is not selected. Use a space bar to select it. Now go to OK, back, and quit. Now if I say if config, or let me say if config enp0 s3. So you see that IP address is assigned. Let me check from my laptop, is it reachable? I'll say ping 192.168.10.5. And you see, yes, it is reachable. Now you can use a PuTTY session and connect to your master. I've already saved in my PuTTY the IPs with the name so that every time I don't have to log in with that. So you see, I'm able to connect to my machine using IP addresses using PuTTY. But I also need internet connectivity. As of now, you see, I'm not able to reach internet. The problem is you have already assigned an adapter with NAT. But if you run ifconfig and more, you'll find that ENP0S3, your first adapter, is having IP assigned, and your second adapter, S8, is not showing any IP. Why is that so? The reason is if you go to NMCLI, dev status, it says the adapter is disconnected. That means it is down, no problem. I'll say NMCLI dev connect. Which adapter? ENP0S8 to activate it. It says done, I'm okay. Now if you run ifconfig, you'll see now that automatically your new adapter will get some IP address 10.0.3.15. Let it be like that. The NAT will get automatic IP. We don't have to worry on that. Now, if you just say ping www.google.com, did you see that it's working? Yes. So I got internet, I got local connectivity, and I also got internet. So let's leave master, and now we'll go to each and every client, and we are going to assign IP addressing the same way how we did. So I'll log in to not listed user. Let me log in as root. I'll give a password. This might take a little while to allow me to log in. So we are going to assign host name, and then we are going to assign the IP address. Okay. We'll go to activities, take a terminal. Okay. Fine. I'll change the host name. Hostname set host name mhost1 dot example.com. Just check it out. Hostname is done. We'll go to NMTUI, edit a connection, edit. Now, as per the plan, we have to assign a manual IP 10.10. So I'll go with 192.168.10.10/24. That's it. I don't have any gateway, DNS, nothing to be given. Just come below and use a space bar to automatically connect and say OK. Then back, then quit. Now, if I say ifconfig enp0s3, you see that the IP is assigned. Just use a ping test from your laptop or desktop to test it's working properly. Yes, so IP is assigned properly. Let's go to mhost2 now. So this is mhost2. Let me try to log in. Let me go with not listed user, username as root, and the password. So we are logged in. Now let me go to activities. I'll go to terminal. Now let's change the host name. Hostname CTL, set hostname. Now this would be mhost2.example.com. Check the hostname. Done. Now go to NMTUI, go to edit a connection. 1 second, guys. ENP0S3, go to edit and go for manual IP, show, and add the IP address 192.168.10.20/24. Use automatically connect. I'll say OK. Back, quit. Now you use ifconfig enp0s3. See, IP is assigned. Let's do a ping test, this time to 10.20. And it's pinging. That's great. Now let's go to mhost3. Same setup I'll be doing on this. Let me go with not listed user, username and password. Go to activities, take a terminal, and first of all, change the hostname. Hostname CTL, set hostname mhost3.example.com. go to NMTUI, edit a connection, edit another one, go with automatic, change it to manual, click on show, add the IP 192.168.10.30/24. That's it. Now I'll come below, automatically connect. I have selected. OK, back and quit. Now if I say ifconfig enp 0s3, done. Let's do a ping test to confirm it's pinging properly. Let me remove that 20 and type 30. Great. Now it's time for the last one. mhost4. I'm repeating the same stuff. Hostname CDL, set hostname mhost4.example.com. Then I'll go to an NMTUI, edit a connection, edit, and manual. Let me assign the IP address 192.168.10.40/24. Then use a space bar for selecting automatically connect and say OK. Back, quit. ifconfig enp0s3. That's great. Now let me do a ping test. That's it. So everything is now ready. Your control station or master node is ready, and all the clients which I wanted is ready with assigned IP address. Now the next thing is we will install Ansible on your controls node. See, to install Ansible, we need to download and configure EPEL repository. What is that EPEL repository? EPEL stands for Extra Package for Enterprise Linux. See, one repository you can create using your directory or your CD-ROM, Red Hat DVD, which will be your local repository. So let me check it out. Do I have a local repository created? DNF repo list. So it says there is no repositories available. So first and foremost, I need to create a local repository that can be used by master and that can also be used by clients. Okay, so you already know how to make a DNF repository or yum repository. I'm not going to explain everything in detail again. So I'll just go and check in settings of my master server. Do I have Red Hat DVD inserted? Yes, it's already inserted. So the steps to create a manual repository, I need to first mount the DVD. I'll say mount. dev sr0 on some directory I'm mounting in .media. See, I'm planning to share this with my clients also using FTP. So what I'll do is I'm going to install FTP package first of all so that it can be shared with FTP. So FTP is not installed. You will get FTP from your DVD folder. So let me say rpm-ivh where I have mounted DVD on media. In media, you can find we have AppStream. Under AppStream, you will find packages folder. In packages folder, you will definitely get vsftpd. So I'm telling RPM to go to that location and install vsftpd package. Done. Now if you say RPM, vsftpd is done. And as the package is available, you will also have var ftp pub location started to work. Anything with FTP you want to share, the best place is to keep it in var ftp pub. Now I'm going to copy the entire DVD into var ftp pub location. So let me say copy with recursive option, show me verbose output, and do it forcefully. Copy entire media folder to var ftp pub with a name rhl8. So in var ftp pub, there will be rhl8 folder created in which the whole data of your DVD will be copied. So let's wait for it to finish the copying. Okay, so copying is finished. Now you can just check it out where FTP pub RHEL8 entire DVD has been copied. And we will also use GPG key, which is kept in etc PKI RPM GPG. So this is the key what we are going to use. So as you know, now we have to create a repo config file. So I'm going to create a repo config file in etc yum.repository with a name called local.repo, for example. So I'm going to use two things, AppStream and base OS. First of all, I'll go with base OS. Name, I'll say local base OS, right? And the base URL location to reach it out is using local file location, file : // and the full location of the directory is /var ftp pub rhl8 ftp file 3/ var ftp pub rhl8 and base OS with capital B and capital OS. Do you want to keep it enabled? Yes. And I'm telling metadata underscore expire to be -1. Okay. Then would you like to go with GPG checking? I'll say yes. GPG key is equals to file : // and the location is etc pki rpm gpg and the key name is rpm gpg key red hat release. Same thing I'm going to repeat for AppStream now. So I'll just copy and paste it. And let me start by giving it a name, AppStream local. I'll say AppStream and AppStream. Rest of the thing should be same. Now let me save and quit. Now I'll say DNF clean all. And let's test DNF. DNF provides ZSH. I'm just searching a package in my repository. Done. So it's working. It has shown me the package is available. Now I want to share it with FTP. So go to etc vsftpd vsftpd.conf. In this config file, there is this line anonymous enable, which is set to no. So please come up over here and make that no as yes. Save and quit. Now let's start services. I'll say systemctl enable vsftpd now. Also in firewall, you must add service ftp permanent. Then go with firewall command reload. Lastly, you can say firewall command list all. Done. So your FTP server is configured, your DNF is configured. But if you just check it out, DNF provides Ansible. Let's see in our local repository, can we find Ansible? Let it do a search and tell us. No. So Ansible is not available in our local repository, but we need local repository to resolve dependencies. Now, with respect to local repository, we need EPEL repository. Now, how can I get EPEL repository? See, anyway, in our manual, we have the method of EPEL repository, or simply you can just say how to get EPEL repository in RHEL 8. See, it automatically gives you a location. Don't go anywhere else. Go to fedoraproject.org. If you click over here, it takes you to a link that tell us that how we can connect to internet and get EPEL repository on RHEL 8 or RHEL 7. If you're going with RHEL 7, go with this. If you're going with RHEL 8, go with this. Simply with the help of DNS or yum, we need to run this command. I'm just copying this link. Yum install some location. We have already tested that internet is working in this machine. Let me again do a ping test. Yes. So I can now just run this command, right? You just need to say DNF install. Get that particular thing install from that location and hit enter. So what we are doing is we are configuring EPEL repository, extra package repository that is going to give us Ansible. Yes, I want to proceed. For RHEL 8, as we are working on RHEL 8. Now, if you say DNF repo list, Just observe how many repositories it is giving you. We have 2 local repositories and you have 2 extra packages repositories. Now, if you say DNF provides Ansible, you see it is going on internet. It would connect to internet and it will tell us where is your Ansible software available. To install Ansible software, guys, you need local repository also. Otherwise, there are big dependencies of Python that might not get installed. If you are already having a network-based repository, that's fine. Or if you're working on CentOS, CentOS automatically connect to CentOS website and download the software. So no need to configure a local repository if you're working on CentOS. But for Red Hat, we should have definitely some repository support through which you can get the dependencies. So you see, it says on EPEL repository, you're going to have your Ansible 2.9.2.21. That's the version. That's great. Now I'm going to install Ansible. I'll say DNF or yum install Ansible-y. Now you see lots of dependencies it is going to choose. One software is there Ansible, but so many dependencies are there. And these dependencies will be resolved by your local repositories. That's the reason our local repositories should be configured. So you see it has been successfully installed. Now if you just run rpm-q and look out for Ansible, so you'll find that Ansible software has been installed. Or the other way is you can run Ansible hyphen hyphen version. This will also tell you little detail about Ansible, what version you are using, where's the configuration file, and other things. So with this, you have successfully installed Ansible software on your master node. So this was the first step, what we have to do in order to work with Ansible. So we have installed the master node, and we have also confirmed that all the clients and master node is having your IP addresses assigned successfully. Now, one more thing what we have to do is either use a DNS to resolve the names or update etc host with all your machine names and IPs. See, every time I'm connecting from one machine to other machine, it would be tough for me to remember IP addresses, isn't it? So my requirement is from master node, whenever I'm connecting to any client, I should use names. To use names, either you should have DNS prepared or you have to set up etc host. In my case, it's a fresh machine. I don't have any DNS setup so far, and I don't want to do that lengthy DNS settings. So what I'm doing is I'm going to update etc host with all these entries, 10.5 for master and 10.10, 10.20, 10.30, all. Basically, this is required only on master node. If you want, you can copy the same on all the clients so that every client may have same resolution concept. So let me just go to master node and I'll say VIM etc hosts. And I'm just going to paste the things over here. So for better view, let me use tab spaces. Okay, and here also. So either you can connect with full name or you can connect with small name. Now let me save and quit to test whether the entries are working or not. Just say ping and double tap. When you say ping and double tap, it reads etc host and display the names for you. So I'll say ping master. It's working. Ping mhost1. It's working. Ping mhost2. That's also working. Right? Now, if you want, you can copy the same file on all the clients. Now, how can I copy this file on all the clients? You can use SCP, isn't it? You can say SCP copy etc host to mhost1 and overwrite etc host there. For the first time you are connecting, you have to give yes and then the password. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me give the proper password. Same thing I want to do on mhost2 now. Yes, and the password. Same thing I would like to do on mhost3. Yes, and the password. I'm just updating etc host file on all the clients by copying it from master. Now you just go to one of the client and confirm SSH mhost1. So I'm on mhost1 now, as you can see. If you say cat etc hosts, you will find that same thing has been updated. Great. Now the last thing, after which we are going to wind up the session, setting up SSH-based login. See, I told you that Ansible works on SSH. So I need passwordless login. Whenever I connect from master to client, it should not prompt me for the password. Otherwise, Ansible may not work perfectly. Every time it will stuck in asking for password. So how to make SSH trust relationship, you have already seen and learned it in SSH class what we have done. So step number 1, let me check in .ssh folder, do I have any public private key? No. So let's generate a public private key pair by using a command ssh keygen. Where you want to store, the default location is root.ssh. Is that okay? Yes. Any password you want to give? No. Repeat the same for not having any password. Now you go and check it out in .ssh folder. You got public private key. See, I want to copy that public key on all the clients. To copy, the command I'll use is ssh copy id on mhost1, then mhost2, then mhost3, then mhost4. Now, instead of doing this manually, you can go with a loop called for loop. See, whenever you want to repeat a task number of times, then you can use this loop concept, for loop, that repeat the task number of time. So I'll say for I in. Now I here is a variable in which I'm going to store some addresses. Which address? I'll say 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Or you can say mhost1, mhost2, mhost3, mhost4. I'm going with simple 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. Then I'll say do something for me. What to do? Run ssh copy id command on mhost. Now I want to go with 1, 2, 3, 4. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4 are stored in a variable called I. How to call a variable? You have to use dollar and the variable name I. So first time I will give 1, then second repetition 2, third repetition 3, and fourth repetition 4. Then I'll say done. So you see, it might ask for password. You have to type password done, password done, password done, and password done. So you see, instead of I am repeating the command every time, my for loop has repeated that for me. Now if I say ssh mhost1, no password. ssh mhost2, no password. ssh mhost3, no password. And ssh mhost4, no password. So now your master server is ready with the software, and clients are also ready with passwordless connectivity. So in the next session, we are going to learn how to use Ansible to perform certain simple tasks on all the clients. Okay, so for today's session, that's it. We have learned today what is Ansible, how to configure an Ansible master node, how to install Ansible, and how to set up all the clients. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much.